is going on, guys? It is Jake here, and welcome in to another interview that we have in store for you. This time, we have the one, the only Jiffy Morales is going to be joining me here later on inside the StreamYard studios. So once again, happy to get a chance to have another interview for you guys today. And of course, let's go ahead and send a shout out to StreamYard. StreamYard.com has so many incredible things for you to do, whether if it's business meetings, interviews, or podcast wise, whatever it may be that you're looking for, head on over to StreamYard.com and guys check out all of the bundles that they have. They have a free version, they have a $20 version. Whatever you find it comfortable, please head on over to StreamYard.com. And of course, let's go ahead and start send some shout outs. Let's go ahead and send a shout out to rmgfx1.com. And of course, we have some Fighting Now gear. We have some incredible gear in store for you guys today. Head on over to rmgmfx1.com and use promo code Fight Now to save 10% off your entire purchase. And of course, real quick, let's go ahead and send a shout out to Mom's Basement MMA, and of course, they're great friends. They're doing so many incredible things, and you guys just talk to them. So hopefully, we'll get a chance to have a super show with them eventually soon. So head on over to Mom's Basement MMA for all the info on that. Liz with the Z podcast. Lisa Solar was with us this past Monday, I believe. It was awesome and it was incredible. I encourage you guys to go check out that interview. So make sure you head on over to youtube.com. And of course, in the booth with Air Media Productions, they just reached 5K on Instagram. So shout out to Air Media Productions with a lot more underway. So before we get a chance to have Jiffy Morales get a chance to join me, let's go ahead and head on over to one quick advertisement break. You guys can get a chance to head on over to TNC Sports Talk and watch the Jay and Trey podcast for all the information. Head on over. They have a giveaway on Twitter. So let's not waste any time. We have Little Miss Redhead herself. Help me welcome in the one, the only Jiffy Morales.
Little Miss Redhead herself. Hey.
I had to do that. But how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I definitely do appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to get a chance to join me. What have you been up to lately?
I know I just fought, but I've still been training and working, taking care of kids.
A little bit. I'll say a little bit of everything, haven't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've definitely been on a roll as of late, when it comes to what you're doing outside of the ring. And I gotta say, congratulations on getting a chance to finally make your U.S. debut. I know
Thank
how
you.
much that means a lot to you. So I think we'll definitely get a chance to talk about that later on. But I think everyone wants to know is what inspired you to start fighting?
I know a lot of people ask that question, right?
Oh Lord, yes. Oh yeah. And by the way, real quick, shout out to everyone who commented, sent some questions to Jiffy on Instagram because you guys sent a lot of questions. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for having me on. How'd you find me?
I I don't know. I really don't know. I guess luck maybe. Luck
Okay.
maybe. All I know is like I seen that you fought, and I was like, like I'm gonna give her a follow, and then I started sharing a couple of your fighting posts here and there, and I was like, we had like a little conversation. We spent like maybe like I don't know, like maybe like an hour talking about how much you and your opponent expect each other, which we'll get to that here in a few. But I guess luck. That's all I can really tell you is luck.
Okay. Well, thank you. And to answer the question, why did I start boxing? Actually, it just kind of happened. I was taking one of those prerequisite classes in college, like the high intensity interval classes, and a part of the class we needed to do boxing. And every time like they paired us up with someone, and I would have to hit the mitts or pads or something, people would say like, you should really try this, you should do it. And I still wanted to like lose weight, stay in shape. So I found a recreational boxing club in California, and after a couple of weeks, the trainers there they kept saying, you know, we see something in you, you should box. And I was like, I don't think I should. That's not something that I want to do. And so they invited me to the competition part, and I sparred, and I said, oh, okay, yeah, I think I can do this. I saw blood and I just got excited, which that's so weird.
It's okay though. I mean, because it's the competition, like you mentioned, that inspires us, to want to do it. And so,
Hmm.
if you guys have not got a chance to check out her fight, head on over to YouTube because I watched it, and it seems like the competitive side, and you definitely showed in your first ever fight, which we'll definitely get to that in a few. We can talk about a lot of things, how you got involved, and of course the toughest part, which is the training part. In your own perspective, what has been the toughest part in training in your own mind?
For me, it would be strength and conditioning because I feel like for years when I was boxing in the amateurs, I was always like really petite. I've always fought between 101 and 106. And transitioning over to the pros, it's you have to sit down on your shots a little more, and you have to be effective. So I never really was strong until about a year ago. I started like strength and conditioning, and it's still the hardest thing to this day because it strips me mentally too, because when I do things I'm like, man, I'm not as strong as I should be or I thought I was. And it's always something different, and it's a learning process every
Hmm.
session.
I mean, you talked about dealing with the mental part. I mean, how did you handle the mental aspect when it comes to training?
It's something that I love to do, so it's not super difficult mentally. It's for me, it's more exciting. It's like, oh, I'm going to the gym today. Oh, I'm gonna spar today. Oh, I'm gonna do strength and conditioning. So, it is a lot of sessions, between 2 to 3. It can be between 2 to 3 a day, and then like 5 to 6 days a week. So it's definitely a lot, but I think because I love to do it so much, it's not mentally straining.
Mm. I definitely do admire that, to say the least. The fact that it's not really as much on the mental aspect, but it's more on the physical aspect in your perspective, and I admire that. I admire that, to say the least. And I got a chance to ask you earlier, and you talked about Bobby and Aaron, correct? Bobby and
Mhm.
Aaron. How much has those guys helped you to be able to prepare you for the fighter that you are today?
Um, I think they've actually changed me a lot. Well, I wouldn't say changed me, motivated me a lot because in the amateurs, I wasn't that great, and I was like a really scary boxer.
Hmm.
Um, and just training with Bobby and Aaron, like they motivate me a lot more, and they see what I have. They see the fighter in me. They see that I'm very technically grounded. They see more potential in me than I see in myself, and they've worked with tons of people, like a lot of people and a lot of big names too. So I would say if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have actually turned pro because when I went to the gym, because I took some time off to have my kids, and then when I went back October 2020, I wasn't. The intention wasn't to turn pro. It was just to get back into boxing because I was depressed. I just had been diagnosed with major depression, and I just wanted to like feel better. And if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have fought at all, but they made me see that there's something in me that I need to fight.
We talked about your amateur days. I mean, how many amateur fights did you had before you became the pro?
I had 22 amateur fights, and my
Wow.
last fight was in 2016, and then I stopped boxing, and then I started back October 2020.
Well, you pretty much know the experience, especially since you mentioned 22 fights. So yeah, I can definitely say that you have the experience level, you have the knowledge level in your fights, and that definitely helped you out, when it came to your first ever pro fight, to say the least. And before we get down to this next question, I want to say this. You talked about your depression. I am proud of you for fighting through there and to
Thank
be able
you.
to continue with what you're doing, because not too many people would end up fighting their demons just to continuing with what they love to do today. So I really am thankful that you got a chance to fight through your depression to be where you are today.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely was not an easy road. Um, and even still, it's a struggle because depression isn't something that like just goes and just goes away and never comes back. There's days where certain things trigger that feeling, and it's like, okay, Jiffy, we got to get up today. We have to do something, even if you don't feel like it. And it's a constant battle.
Yeah. And what we talked about, the constant battles. I mean, there's always been something that inspires us or encourages us to be able to continue to get up, whether if you feel like getting out of bed or if you or whatever it is that you may be. What has been your biggest inspiration for you to be able to continue with what you're doing right now?
Uh, I just want to be the best. Like I really want to be the best. Like I want to be a world champion, and I don't think that I'll stop until I see that title over my name or have that belt on my wall. Like I don't think I'll stop until I
Yeah.
see it.
Well, I think that there's going to be some championship gold coming your way, especially with how much you're putting yourself through, and especially how much work that you're putting in. And you talked about being a mom, and I got a chance to tell you to think about this before the interview. Is that a lot? Whenever we start doing something that we love, we want our kids to see something while we're continuing to do so.
Hmm.
While you're fighting, what is something that you want your kids to see? Do you want your kids to see you not only just as a fighter, but as a warrior? I mean, what do you want your kids to learn while you're doing this?
Um, well, I still want them to see me as mommy, but I really just want them to follow their dreams always and just know that I'm doing that despite people telling me otherwise. Like some people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't box. Oh, you're too pretty to box," or everybody has like their different reasoning. Um, and they may hear that in life too, that they shouldn't do certain things. And I think despite all of the negatives and all of everything that's built against us, that I just want them to see that I'm going to follow my dreams no matter what, and they should too.
And I definitely do admire that, because the thing is though, is like we want our kids to be able to go after something that we love to do, whether if it's boxing, whether if it's MMA, no matter what it may be. That if they want to do something, they need to go for it. Don't let other people's words convince them out of it, because otherwise, they won't be able to get a chance to do what they love. They won't be able to get a chance to see, their own mom continuing what she does best, and that's being a professional boxer, to say the least. And so
Hmm.
I really like your standards for your kids, to say the least, and shout out to your family as well. So
Thank you.
so outside of the fighting prospects, you got a chance to be able to do some commentating.
Uh,
How was that for you? I mean, you got a chance to be able to be next to the ring. You got a chance to commentate some fights. I mean, did you ever expect to get a chance to do that?
Um, I think the sky is the limit. I don't know if I ever thought about it, but I do know that I enjoy commentating. Um, because I feel like my boxing IQ is really high.
Mhm.
And also I like to see I just love boxing. I like to watch other people fight. Um, and I do research on everybody who fights. Like I literally know everything about the red corner, everything about the blue corner, as much as I can. I do a lot of research.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool to be able to commentate, and I do want to continue to do that, and hopefully be able to do it for larger networks in the future.
I've got a chance to listen to some of your fights, and yeah, you did a pretty good job. I mean, you did your homework, and it's just like, myself or any other media out there that wants to be able to continue to do interviews. We have to do our homework. We have to be able to learn about that person, the history, whatever, what it is. I think you're doing a pretty good job, to say the least.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to. I try my best.
Trust me, it can be difficult at times I've got a chance to commentate some stuff, and it could be a handful to say the least.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
so
just a second. You kind of sound robotic. It's
I,
like it's like an
I
echo
can.
or something.
Is it bad, or is it?
It's kind of bad. Yeah.
I've I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. Hopefully,
Oh,
I
that
don't.
there it goes. That's you fixed
I
it.
it's kind of difficult, especially with where I'm at, to find a place for my phone. So hopefully I got it fixed. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, it's good now.
All right. My apologies for the technical difficulties here and there, but yet let's go ahead and get back into it. So yet now here we are. You finally get a chance to have your big fight announced against Randy Lynn. I'm hoping I said her name right. So
Yeah,
yet
Ranger Morales. We have the same last name.
Randy Lynn Morales. So yet, talk about the fight announcement. How was you feeling? The fact that hey, this is going to be a great opportunity for me. This is going to be really huge for me. I mean, what was the emotions going through your mind right before you get a chance to have this fight?
Well, I've basically been in training camp forever.
Yeah.
Um, my first pro fight was in October of 2021, and I've basically been in training camp since then. Like I never stopped training. Um, and there had been a few fight announcements. I'm gonna fight, and then I don't fight. I'm gonna fight, and then I don't fight. It's really hard to find opponents at my weight. Um, it's really difficult to find people that aren't like so experienced because obviously like I don't have that many professional fights, and we might end up fighting somebody with a lot of fights. So I mean I expected to fight on February 12th. I just wasn't sure who I was going to fight until about maybe it was like 3 weeks before, and I mean, I felt normal. I felt like, yay, we got to fight, but I wasn't like super excited because I didn't know if it was actually going to happen because there were so many times where maybe we did have an opponent and the fight didn't happen. So,
Well, I mean, did you ever find it that difficult to say those? Did you ever find it frustrating to see be like, you got to fight now, it's woohoo, but then all of a sudden they cancel it. Does it ever frustrate you at times where hey, I don't care who you got, just give me somebody.
yeah, I wouldn't say like frustrating because I'm going to train regardless, but I feel like I get sad. I'm like, oh man, I want to fight. And then I have to tell myself, like, okay, well, everything happens for a reason. Like, God doesn't make mistakes. I have to say things to myself like that to continue on. And I never, like, what I always do is I try to trust my team to the point where if they're not just gonna get me to fight with anybody, and I'm not gonna let my emotions get in the way where I'm like, oh, just give me anybody, because I have to just trust the process. But it's sad when the fights fall out.
Well, hey, at least this time there was no cancellations, and you finally got just to fight. I'm gonna bring up a picture, during the fight, and I gotta tell you, you end up throwing this. I don't know if it was a jab or what it was, but yet, talk us through this whole entire fight because you told me right before we even thought about the interview was like it was like a back and forth between you and Randy, to say the least.
Yeah, it was a really good competitive fight. I so I I wouldn't say like I didn't know what to expect going
Hmm.
into the fight because I did see a couple of videos of her, but I'm always the person who never underestimates anyone.
Hmm.
And I don't base anything off of like previous fights because I feel like even if she fought like 5 months ago, I would expect her to be 5 to 10% better because I'm getting better every day. And I don't
Yeah.
expect anybody to not get better. So I pretty much just boxed the entire fight and basically like just slick movement, head movement, um, throwing my jab a lot, being able to eventually I found my range after like the second round. And it was a good fight. During the fight, each round, actually my corner was saying like, okay, you won this round, do this. Okay, you won this round, do this. Okay, you won this round, do this. So I'm like, okay. So when the fight ended, the judges, well, the announcer, he said a score, then he said my name, then he said a score, and he said her name, and I was like, oh my god, like I was shocked because my corner was saying like, you won, and I'm like, well, did they lie? Like, did somebody see something? And so at that point, I was like, okay, it's gonna be a draw, and then they said her name, and I was just shocked, like shocked. I'm still shocked. Well, no, I'm not still shocked, but I was shocked because my corner was telling me like you won, and then everybody else was saying that you won, but in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, but it doesn't matter what other people think, because what matters is that the judges thought that I lost, and that was like the biggest lesson for me, and I felt like it needed to happen.
Hmm.
It needed to happen to me, and probably best that it happened early on in my career, because I'll never forget that feeling. I'll never forget what it feels like to lose. I don't want to feel that ever again.
Well, you know what? After the fight, and I gotta tell you this: what people don't know is you and your opponent had so much amount of respect for one another because she told you that she thought that you won, and it was like kind of like back and forth. I mean, talk about the amount of respect that you have for Randy. I mean, it seems like a really incredible thing to say the least. Y'all two talked about it after the fight, and y'all talked about a lot. So I mean, talk about the respect that you have for her.
So I actually have respect for anybody who gets in that ring. Like,
Yeah.
period. I don't feel like it's not in me to talk about someone negative who is willing to get in the ring and put their life on the line for other people's entertainment.
Hmm.
Like that's just first and foremost. And I never had like any problems with Randy. At the end of the day, it's a business, and we sign these contracts, we say we're gonna fight, and whatever the result is gonna be is what the result's gonna be. I can't be mad at her because she won. Like,
Yeah.
the judges thought she won, and I have to accept that. um we actually, like, we even talked yesterday. Like, I respect her as a person. I think that we're very similar. Even at one point I was like, do you think we're related? Like, I think we should do an ancestry test or something to see like if we're related, like we could be cousins or whatever. I don't know. um but yeah, just I, I don't have anything negative to say.
I mean, I definitely do admire that because me and you had this conversation before. You not only have respect for her, but you also have respect for every opponent that you face. You're not the type of person that would want to trash talk before the fight or trash talk after the fight. That's just not you.
Yeah, and anything that I feel like even how I feel about the fight, that's just something that I have to deal with, like my own emotions. It doesn't have anything to do with her, and I don't feel like disrespecting other people is going to do anything for me. It's not going to do anything for my character. It's not going to do anything for my ego. It's not going to do anything for my business. Like, it's just not going to do anything. So, yeah, I feel like for me, just staying true to who I am, um, that's what helps me sleep at night.
And you know what? The one thing I can tell you is that the person you are in the ring is the person you are outside of the ring. And the one thing I think people wants to know about you is what's something that everyone should know about you, not only as Jiffy Morales the fighter, but also as Jiffy Morales the person outside of the ring.
Um, I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like the two kind of like mesh together, and it really translate. Like, a lot of people, and I don't know if it hurts my feelings or not, but a lot of people say that I'm too nice.
Hmm.
And I'm like, what do you mean? I got people telling me like, don't smile at the weigh-ins. Don't you smile too much. Like, they even tell me like I respect my opponents too much. And I'm just like, I don't get that. I mean, I get it. I get that boxing is like a combative sport. I get it that it's either kill or be killed. But like, I'm not really trying to kill anybody. Like, I'm trying to showcase my skills, and I will fight hard. Like, all women fight hard. Like, we fight harder than the guys. Uh,
Amen. Amen.
Uh, but I don't know. I think the two mesh together. Like, I'm very stylish. I don't know if you saw it in the fight, but I had on like people were some people were really upset about the tutu.
Hang
Like
on,
like why some people
I'll
are like,
show it.
"Why are you wearing that? Why did you have that on? It should have been something that like detached when you got in the ring." And for me, it's like I had a theme. The theme was Beetlejuice. I don't know if you saw the movie, but it's the wedding scene on Beetlejuice.
Hmm.
Her dress was red, and then Beetlejuice had on like the burgundy tuxedos, and so my coaches they had on those shirts. But I feel like I'm the same person inside and outside of the ring. Like I work really hard. Um, my passion and my heart shows through everything that I do. I don't think there's much of a difference. Like I would like to say that I have alter ego when I get in the ring, but I don't. Like I'll just stay true to who I am.
And I definitely like that. And whenever I first saw the tutu, I was like, "What is she wearing? What is she wearing?" I'm not going to judge or anything, but I'm like, "Is that supposed to be like a skirt or a skirt, whatever it was? I don't know, like the tutu. I don't know, but hey, it's definitely who you are as a person. You're trying to look stylish, in the ring, outside of the ring. That's just who you are. That's just who you are, to say the least."
I learned a lot about the business of boxing after this fight. I didn't realize that wearing something like that could hurt me in the sense of like the judges, they're humans first, and they might be like, "Look, if she's coming here wearing this, she better do something amazing, like fantastic." And I learned a lot. Like I kind of take what people were saying and just take what I feel like will benefit me the most.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people did say like, "Why was I wearing that?" Uh, what was I thinking? But I was following a theme and I was just being true to who I am.
Yeah.
But now I learned a lot about the business and I'm gonna make some adjustments moving forward.
Hey, the way I see it though is that at least you got a chance to look stylish. At least you got a chance to look stylish in the profile in the ring whenever you punches someone in the face. At least. But you know what? Hey, I definitely think you're going to do incredible things. And looking back throughout this whole entire fight, the process, the fact that you finally got a chance to find an opponent, you know, how much does this fight mean to you? Especially whenever you get a chance to look back in your fighting career.
I think it means a lot because my first fight was out of the country and no one saw me, like no one got to see me or anything like that. This fight, um, it was in Texas. I'm actually in Houston, but this fight was in Austin. I didn't really have anybody there, but there was a lot of people that knew me. Um, it means a lot because, like I said, I don't want to feel what I felt like again ever. And even just I just keep like replaying some things over in my head, like okay, even when my coaches were telling me like, oh, you're winning, you're up this round. Um, I just feel like don't tell me that anymore. Like don't tell me anything anymore. Like I'll never
It's,
forget this fight. I'll never forget it.
you
It's
know,
gonna
it,
go down as like I had to tell myself, okay, Lomachenko lost his second fight. Holyfield lost his first fight. Like I had to keep telling myself, like all the great champions, like they lose, and maybe we need those losses so that we can. The only way is up. I don't want to feel that ever again.
I think there's something that I found, and that says, it's okay to lose because you learned something from it. And I can honestly say you learned a lot from this fight. It's helped you not only as a person but as a fighter. And I feel like, the more that you got a chance to learn, the more you're gonna be pushing forward to your next fight. It's like that experience. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna do this again. I'm gonna do different things and try to get better on my next fight. Right?
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel like because this fight was in the States, a lot of people finally got to see me fight. Like literally nobody knew that I could box at all.
Mhm.
And people were like really impressed and um to the point where I was like, really? Like nobody knew that I can box? Like, that's so weird. Like, that's what I do all day, every day. But I was really happy that I was able to showcase that. And not only that, like, I was really apprehensive about there being like a video out. I'm like, oh my God, now everybody can see like what I can do, what they can capitalize off of, like my mistakes or whatever. Um, but I just feel like, okay, I just have to rein it in a little bit, and I'll be okay. Because I've had some really good feedback, even like some like known professionals, like very famous professionals, saying like, you did really well. A lot of people thought that I won even from watching the video. I just had a lot of good feedback, and I thought like, okay, well, I guess it's in me. A lot of people telling me I have a bright future, and I appreciate that.
And, whenever you got a chance to send me this fight, which by the way, I definitely do appreciate you allowing me to get a chance to check it out. And I gotta say, you looked incredible. You looked amazing in there. I mean, how many rounds was it? 3 rounds, 4 rounds?
We did 4 2-minute rounds.
But well, 4 minute rounds. That was 4 rounds. That was just incredible to say the least. You looked like a professional. You looked like you're just getting started. And I think that there was a lot of great things coming your way to say the least. And if you guys want to get a chance to check out that fight, head on over to YouTube.com and check out Jeff and type in Jeffrey Morales taking on Randy Lynn Morales. So yeah, that's how you get a chance to watch that fight, and I encourage you guys to do so to say the least. And you talked about you finally got a chance to make your U.S. debut. I mean, was that always been like a bucket list, to get a chance to check it off? I mean, did you ever just feel like, hey, I finally made my debut in the States, crossed off my list?
Yeah, after fighting out of the country, I thought like, man, am I ever gonna fight in the U.S.? Like, I didn't know if it was gonna happen. We kept getting offers to go fight like in Mexico and Colombia, and I'm just like, but I want to fight in the U.S. And now that it finally happened, like, of course, I'm happy about that, and it's gonna continue. It's not like I'm not gonna fight in the U.S. anymore. I
No.
hope I do.
Crossing my fingers to say the least. But hey, once again, you do got some questions. Thanks to everyone that typed in the questions for you on your story. Which, by the way, I encourage you guys to go check her out at Jiffy Morales on Instagram. I think she has other social media platforms. We'll get a chance to get down to, but check it out on Instagram, Jiffy Morales on there. Get a chance to follow her because she is one incredible fighter and one incredible person.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the questions. Thanks to the everyone that typed it in. You got one. Then they ask, how do you balance owning a business, being a mom, and being a professional boxer?
I just do it. I feel like we do what we want to do, and I just find a way to make it work. The
I,
mind is the limit. I don't know.
well, you know what? What they say. The sky's the limit, and you definitely put a lot, when it comes to everything that you're doing, to say the least. Um, what made you want to do boxing? Is what the next person wanted me to ask you.
Um, After I had got invited to the competition training in California, when I sparred, I felt like something in me that was like, um, that I was in control. Like, it encouraged me, it gave me confidence. And not only like when I sparred the first time, I saw blood. That kind of didn't. I was like, ugh, that turned me off. But it made me feel like I can do something beyond what I ever thought that I could do.
Yeah.
So, because it wasn't my intention to box, it was just something that I was doing just so that I can lose weight and stay in shape. But just the feeling behind it, I felt like really empowered.
And of course, the last one is, at what age did you started boxing?
I think I was 19 when I started.
And that's incredible to say the least, especially since you got a chance to start at such a young age. And hey, look at where you are now with the amount of amateur fights, 22 amateur fights, and of course, you got a chance to be able to make your pro fight. I mean, there's big things that are coming your way, and I do got something out really special I want to tell you. And
Okay.
so pretty much not too many people know that you are one of the best boxers out there, in which, by the way, people need to follow you on, which I'll do show you once again.
Thank
But
you.
you're not only an amazing boxer, but you're also an amazing person. And I really think that you have a lot of great things that are coming your way. You're doing so incredible as a mom, so incredible as a person, and just keep on being you. I think a lot of people can really inspire by what you're doing, by how much you have went through. You shared your story about you facing your depression, and to get to where you are today. If anybody can't understand that, I don't know what's going on. But one thing I will tell you is you are a warrior at best in the ring and outside of the ring. And Jiffy, it's definitely a huge honor to get a chance to have you in Streamer Studio. So thank you for what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
Thank
Thank
you for
you so
all that you
much.
are. And of course, if you have a comment, um, also we do have a question. Thanks to Miss Audrey. She says, "Hey, loving your interview. What does your training look like when you're not in fight camp? Do you lift? Do you cardio, sparring, etc.? What all do you do? What does your training camp look like when you're not in fight camp?"
So I'm always in fight camp. I'm in fight camp even when I don't have a fight coming up. And I treat it like that so that I can always stay in shape and I can be prepared for anything. So I do strength and conditioning 3 times a week, and then I box 5 to 6 days out the week. A lot of drills, a lot of jump roping, running, sprints, running the stairs. It's a lot. I treat myself like I'm in fight camp all the time because an opportunity can present itself, and I never want to not be ready. So yeah, some people get dates where they're like, okay, I'm gonna fight April 9th, and some people get a call and say, hey, will you take this fight 2 weeks out? And it might be somebody that you feel like, oh yeah, this would be a good fight, but oh, I'm not in shape. But I would never be that person.
So you're pretty much ready for whatever phone call you may get. You're just ready to go, just in case you end up getting a phone ring, be like, hey, you want to take this fight tomorrow or Saturday? And then you'd be like,
Yeah,
boom, I'm away.
yeah, for sure.
Well, Joe, I think that will do it for all of the questions. But yet, do you have any final thoughts, any final comments that you want to be able to tell us?
Um, well, first of all, thank you for having the platform that you have for women combat sports. I think it's great, especially as a man, to be able to shine that light on us. And I'm grateful for that. And thank you for finding me with luck.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of that.
Yeah. And 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 shout out to Randy. I know, like, I feel like we're like best friends. I don't know. It's so weird. But yeah, shout out to her for taking the fight and making me realize or feel whatever I needed to feel to be able to move to the next level.
Hopefully, if it happens, I will get a chance to have Randy to get a chance to talk to her about that fight, and we'll get a chance to talk about a lot of stuff, to say the least. Yo, real quick, don't forget Friday. I made the announcement on Instagram, but I have a story. I'm sharing everything, my stories and everything that's coming Friday. So
Mhm.
3 o'clock Eastern time. Check that out. And of course, once again, if you guys have not got a chance to follow Jiffy Morales on Instagram, do you have any other social media platforms you want everyone to follow you on?
I have Facebook. It's the same as Jiffy Morales. Oh, look, you have my name spelled wrong. That's about-
Oh, oh my! I tried to fix that right before, and I made sure I put the A, but unfortunately, StreamYard decided to be stupid on me and not save it. So there's my box right there.
It's okay.
But
But
just get rid of
you see my name at the bottom. It's just like that.
yeah, just get rid of the Q and put it into A, then you're all good, to say the
Yeah.
least. Fat thumbs is all I have. That's all I can be able to really explain myself. But hey, once again, Jeff Morales, it's definitely an honor to get a chance to have you on. I hope you had a great time. I will send you the link once when I get off the StreamYard. So I hope you have an incredible rest of your day.
All right. Thank you so much. You too.
Later.
Bye.
And that was Miss Jiffy Morales here. We got a chance to have the amazing conversation. Check her out on Instagram, and of course, don't forget a chance to follow her everywhere else. We got one more final advertisement break, and then we'll get a chance to hop off the air. I got some more announcements coming our way, so give me 1 second, okay, y'all? That was it for our interview today. We have Megan Crawley that's coming up here tonight around 10 o'clock ish. And of course, you guys want to get a chance to follow me at the Fighting Now on Instagram. And like I mentioned before, and I'll go ahead and announce it again. We have a guest coming up for y'all on Friday. And also, right before that, I get a chance to share my story, the trials and tribulations I went through to be able to get to where I'm at. I've not been really thought about sharing my story to you guys, and I mean everyone's been wanting me to do this, and I hope you guys get a chance to tune in 3 o'clock on Friday, and I hope you guys will get a chance to check it out. Send me some questions, but you're more than welcome to. But that's it for everyone. Once again, I encourage you guys to head on over to TNC Sports Talk and get a chance to watch the Jay and Trey podcast. Shout out to Armchair Booking, and of course, get a chance to shout out to all of our podcasts: Mom's Basement MMA, Liz with a Z podcast, and Air Media Productions. But hey, from until tonight, until Megan Crawley gets a chance to join me here, I am excited. Hope you guys are too. But until then, I'm Jake saying so long, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.